Greetings, everyone. Welcome to this epic disaster. We are, again, at Cheri's house.
Once again.
And this might be the last time. I don't know.
We're not sure. And I mean, it won't be the last time ever.
It could be.
But, I mean, it could be. That's true, too.
And we also have a new beer today. What are we doing for our live beer review? Hit me up. Tell me what's going on.
So this is kind of funny because once upon a time, I made you drink a beer by Catawba Brewing called Peanut Butter Jelly Sandwich or something like that. And you
sort of remember that.
Didn't want anything to do with it. You got mad at me. It was disgusting, blah, blah, blah. So what you've brought us here today is a beer by D9 Brewing Company called Wild Things. Or no, it's called Superstitious Pigeons. It's part of their Wild Things
I'm doing my pigeon
line.
impersonation.
I can hear that. Yeah, there's probably a pigeon right out that window.
Yeah, it's like someone's calling me.
So what this is it's a sour ale brewed with peanut butter and raspberries.
I know nothing about this. I just like the name. And it's got some pretty funny looking art. It's kind of cool.
It is cute. I like the art. And I like the fact that you're going back for quite possibly another peanut butter jelly.
I didn't
beer.
like the last one, as I recall. I don't think I felt like it didn't taste like peanut butter and jelly.
Well, I don't recall it being a sour either.
Nope,
I just
it wasn't.
recall it being an ale.
This one is kind of
it's
a very golden color.
Yeah.
And I think it might be good. Shall we try it? I'm gonna give it a sniff.
Give it a sniff. See if it smells like
it smells
childhood.
it smells just like peanut butter sandwich. That's weird.
Oh wow! Do you know what?
That's weird.
If any of you listening are going to try this beer and you have children with peanut allergies in the house, you may not want to do so.
Well, does it have peanuts in it?
It says it's brewed with peanuts.
Oh, then don't.
Yeah, absolutely. I just thought about that. Isn't that weird, the things we need to think about now with kids and allergies and stuff?
I
don't, because I don't have kids. But
last week we talked about me doing grand jury, and so the first day when they were doing like the introductions, they asked if anyone had allergies, food allergies, because people bring lunches in and you're confined in there.
Yeah.
Well, what was weird, I've never been in this situation before, is they had to give us a drill on what happens if there's an active shooter.
Oh, I've had several of those because I work in a corporate
so weird. I never
America,
thought about that. I was like, holy crap.
We have to do, we've done, at my current job, I've been there for about 4.5 years, and we've actually only had one active shooter, presentation. And what's funny is that at my last job, we did them twice a year because we were in a very large warehouse type situation, which was dangerous to start with. And if you're running around frantically, you could hurt yourself just from running around. But yeah, so you just had a sip of your beer.
That we tried it, yeah.
And I just wanted to tell the listeners that I have never seen you react like that to any beer so far. And you have hated some of the beers.
Have you tried it?
I have not put it in my mouth.
Give it a try.
Okay. I will put this in my mouth.
I'm just going to say I think this might be a mistake.
I feel like I've tasted it. I feel like you're trying to get back at me for something. That's what's happening here. You've given me this. Now, it has a good level of sourness, I will say that.
Yes, it does.
But
it
nothing
is a sour.
else.
Here's what it tastes like.
Nothing else about it.
It tastes like
good.
It tastes like a sour beer that someone dropped a peanut butter sandwich in overnight. If you can imagine that. Oh my gosh. All right.
And we're going to drink it. Oh, I mean, we just got done telling you what we think of it, but let's see if it grows on us.
Sometimes it does change.
It could grow.
I got to get that taste out of my mouth. All right, so I did something.
She said.
I did something today that we don't do a lot of.
What did you do?
But I feel like maybe we should do some more of it because we've done it a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Okay.
I have been seeing this product on TV, and I want to know what it tastes like.
Like a food product, I hope.
A food product, yes.
Okay, because it's not like you just saw like Massengill and wanted to see what it tasted like.
So what it is, I brought it with me. Open it up here.
Okay, I need to.
Country Crock plant butter.
Okay, so it's plant-based butter. It's non-dairy product.
So they're making, because everything is plant-based now. They got a plant-based meat and all that stuff. So that's the catchphrase now, plant-based. So they're doing all. So Country Crock has this commercial now with plant-based or plant butter. It's just called. Mm-hmm. So I was on, and my wife was like, "Isn't that margarine? Isn't that what margarine is?
Basically it's
corn
soy.
Oil or whatever.
Soy and
that's
corn,
plant-based.
and that's plant-based.
So I'm just wondering what the difference is. It says great for cooking and baking. This is Country Crock plant butter with olive oil. They have Country Crock plant butter with avocado oil as well. So I got this one. Now, what I want to do is I want to try it. I want us to try it.
Okay.
Because I want to know if this is a scam. I feel like it's a scam.
I feel like it's very much a scam, and I feel like you probably wasted your money, because what you very easily could have done is you very easily could have just compared the the ingredient list to margarine.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh,
so
shit. Okay.
Here's what I'm going to do. Daggone it.
What?
Well, I just shut my phone down, remember?
Why did you turn it all the way off?
Because I didn't want it to ring. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. So I looked at the ingredient list on this Country Crock plant butter. All right. It says 25% less saturated fat than dairy butter.
Okay.
It's 100 calories per serving. A serving is 1 tablespoon. 100 calories per 1 tablespoon. That will have 14% fat, 11 grams of fat, 5 grams saturated, 1 gram polyunsaturated, and 4 grams, 4.5 monounsaturated.
So all the fats.
Lots of fats.
You got all the fats going.
110 milligrams of sodium, so that's 5%.
All
right, so that's in just a tablespoon of this stuff.
Right.
Who puts a tablespoon on anything? I mean, don't we?
Well, I'll be honest with you. A lot of people who are eating the way that I am eating, a tablespoon of butter is nothing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I use a product that I won't mention now because I'd like to talk about it at a later date. That actually you mix with butter, and it is a meal replacement. And I use 3 tablespoons of butter in this.
All right, so here's the deal.
All right.
So this is Country Crock.
Right.
Regular margarine.
Okay.
All right. 50 calories. Half the calories.
Half the calories.
6 grams of total fat. Compared to 11 grams of total fat in the plant butter.
So less.
Less, yes. 1.5 grams of saturated fat. So the plant butter has 5 grams of saturated fat. And 100 milligrams of sodium compared to 110 milligrams of sodium, almost equal in the plant-based. So,
all right.
And that's 1 tablespoon. If we're going by the ingredient list, it's healthy.
Yes.
The margarine is healthier than the plant butter.
Well, if you're going by the nutrition facts. Now, if we compare the actual list of ingredients here, let's do that. So list of ingredients on the plant butter, it says plant butter with olive oil is what it says. And this says blend of plant-based oils. Palm fruit, palm kernel, canola oil and olive oil, water, salt, pea protein, sunflower, and then preservatives.
Well, I didn't get the that. Wait a minute, maybe I did.
And they even put beta carotene in it for color, which I'm sure lots of products do because it's a beautiful color.
Right. So this stuff. The
margarine.
Yeah, margarine stuff. Let me see. Ingredients: purified water, soy, palm kernel oil, vinegar, flavors. Kind of the same stuff.
Other than vinegar, it's pretty much the same thing.
Mostly the same stuff. All right. So I want to try this out. I don't understand its existence.
Okay.
Other than just being trendy. So what
completely,
I did.
yeah.
What
it's like everybody putting non-GMO or completely organic on things like celery.
Right.
Or, right. I mean, I know that not all celery is organic.
But this isn't really a product that exists that they're putting a different label on.
Actually,
it's like a product that they've made totally different.
But it's again, it reminds me, the big one is the gluten-free thing. So things that you absolutely know just because you're an intelligent human being have no gluten in it, they've started putting gluten-free on the product.
I bought a box of crackers. I know you're on a low-carb diet. I got the lowest carb crackers I can get.
And you could have got cheese crisps.
I didn't want it to interfere with the taste.
Okay.
So I didn't want to go too cheesy or whatever.
So we're not actually going to chew on the
You
podcast
might.
because that's disgusting.
I don't know.
Are you doing ASMR right now?
No. Quit. All right, so I got to pop it. And wouldn't you know it, I get the bag that won't open.
Be stronger than the bag.
I'm afraid, you know how sometimes you try to pull it open the top and it busts through the bottom? I think that might be what's going to happen. But anyway, the carb content on this, it was much less than most crackers. Okay. But also a serving was 17 crackers, so you don't need to go that many crackers. So we can both try the plant butter from Country Crock. Here we go. Just try it out on a cracker.
Butter on a cracker. This is my kind of dinner, I'll have you know.
All right. I'm getting a lot of cracker taste. Not as much butter taste.
I actually like it. I'll be honest with you. The taste of the butter, it's very salty. Or maybe that's the cracker. No, it's the butter. And I like salted butter.
Well,
way more than unsalted.
Yeah, too. My wife cooks with unsalted, but
I know. Whenever I try and spread butter on something at your house, I'm like, bleh.
Okay. What I'm tasting buttery taste. Unfortunately, I don't remember. I haven't had margarine in so long.
Neither have I.
I don't remember what margarine tastes like.
So you didn't bring any to compare? You bought butter, but you didn't. You bought.
Well, then I would
butter.
have to bring also butter to compare. It does taste buttery.
It does, actually. Thank you for not chewing into the mic.
All right. Here's what I'm going to say.
What are you going to say?
Well, I just got a nice kind of a popcorn taste, so like butter popcorn. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it cooks. It says it's great for cooking and baking. It's got a nice buttery taste. Mm-hmm. I don't understand its purpose, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
It's just by butter or by margarine, it's doesn't seem to be as healthy
as the margarine even.
Yeah.
But margarine, I guess if we looked at the fat levels again on the nutrition label, margarine may have additional saturated fats and things that you want to avoid rather than this. I just read what the fat content was in their margarine. It's less than this. Yeah, but what kind of fats? See, that's the thing. That's the thing that people are paying attention to these days is are you eating the good fats?
The good fats are not the trans fats and the polyunsaturated fats and all that stuff. And I don't know. I think the other one is better.
Okay. Well, then you can leave this here.
Yeah, I don't know whether margarine tastes this good. This tastes a lot like butter, and I use butter. I don't use margarine.
Same.
So, who knows? But it is buttery. I would say I probably should have looked at ingredients. I mean, I know what the ingredients of most butter is. They don't put all that stuff in it.
So we could have done a would you rather.
We could still do a would you rather.
Butter or margarine.
We could still do a would you rather. But I wanted to see what this is like. I wanted to do...
You wanted to do a taste test.
I've never pulled a stick of butter out and eaten it with crackers either, and that's what we're doing.
And it's actually really good.
Like white trash buffet.
I'm hungry though, so that's the problem.
Well, I was hoping, I was trying to be considerate and not get you. You wouldn't have to eat a lot of crackers, and you're over there hoovering them.
Yeah, I am. That's
all right. So let's put the butter up. Now that we know how good or bad that we think this is, I will say the taste is good.
Yes.
I'm very for the taste, but I don't understand the purpose of it.
There's a lot of things I don't understand the purpose of at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Most of the things through the middle aisles.
Okay.
What's the point?
Let's do some Zapmondo.
All right, let's play a game.
Zapmondo, the game of Would You Rather. This is a great game we play every show, which is it gives us something to talk about.
It gives us something to do. I mean, it gives you something to listen to.
A little chat while we drink this strange beer.
It is odd beer. It's odd. Okay, so you're going to read for me first, and I dropped a red one.
You dropped a red one?
Yeah. So the color of the stone corresponds to the category, blah, 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 blah. You've heard the drill. And I think red is what, pain and discomfort?
Pain, fear, discomfort.
Oh,
Would you rather have to stand unprotected out in the field 100 feet away from home plate at the batting cages? Well, that's a stretch. Or 50 feet away from the tee at a driving range?
Oh, the batting range or the batting cage. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess you could get out of the way in time for that, right?
Well, not to mention the fact that, I mean, I know that there are some serious injuries that occur when people get hit with baseballs, especially at games and stuff, when you've got people hitting them out of the park. I get that. But I've played ball. And
you play golf.
Well, I play golf too. But a golf ball, getting hit with a golf ball hurts like fuck. Now, I've been hit with both.
Yeah.
In the leg. Same leg, actually, now that I think about it. The one on the baseball that I got hit with hit me, and I was in right field, and he hit a line drive, and it came right at me, and my glove just barely missed it. I mean, I didn't even touch it, right? And it hit me directly in my thigh, the front of my thigh. By the time I dropped my glove and just started walking towards the plate because we were practicing. It wasn't a game. And I was in tears and laughing at the same time. And by the time I got to the plate, you could see like the stitch marks of the baseball were actually raised on top of the huge knot on my leg.
You get some of the weirdest, strangest injuries.
I do. I do.
So interesting.
The golf ball hit me in the back of the calf. And it hurt so bad all I could do was laugh. Like, I laughed maniacally for quite a while.
I know a guy whose dad was golfing with a bunch of buddies, and one of them got hit by a ball and died right on the field, on the course.
Yep, happens a lot, especially when you get kids out playing around with golf clubs and stuff. Saw a bad image. I'm sure everybody's seen this on the internet where somebody got hit in the face with a driver, busted her whole jaw open, and I mean that'll kill you too.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the baseball.
Don't play sports, kids.
Don't play sports.
All right, I'm dropping.
Or dance.
I'm guessing yellow. Purple?
It's purple.
I meant to say purple.
Okay, not psychic. So, I have glasses right here.
Purple, purple.
I came prepared for my one eye that can see.
Purple question.
Okay,
purple
so
question.
purple. Food and ingestion. Would you rather drink a shot of yak spit?
I think I am.
Or
I think I might actually be doing that.
If that's what yak spit tastes like, I don't no, okay, never mind.
I like that though, yak spit. That's kind of cool.
Spit.
That's a nice little
it's like band name of the day,
term,
right? Drink a shot of yak spit. There's your phrase for the day, folks.
Drink a shot of yak spit.
Drink a shot of yak spit.
Do that phrase on Facebook, and what do we send them? I don't know. We'll send them something. I don't know. We can't send them.
I don't know. Maybe a shot glass.
Spit.
Maybe we'll send them a shot glass, and then go find their own yak spit.
A yak shot. We'll find something really nice for you.
Drink a shot of yak spit, or now we're back to your question.
Yeah.
Or would you rather a teaspoon of snail slime? So you've got yak spit or snail slime.
Yeah.
These are your options in this wonderful game that we play.
I really don't know. I would probably go with the teaspoon of snail slime and go quick, especially if I can have a chaser after it. I don't think it would matter. I would do either one of them if I can add things to it or add that to other things. Like a big drink of something, I could get by with it.
If you did shots as much as I did, you can get a shot back really fast.
And I don't think I would do any of them. I have a problem with any of them if I didn't know I was doing it.
Right.
I mean, if you're just drinking and somebody goes, you just had some yak spit, I
you would be amazed.
I'd be like, oh, really? Oh, nasty. Well, okay. And that'd be it.
Exactly. And it, that question reminds me, do you remember the show Fear Factor?
Yeah, I didn't watch much of that.
I didn't like it because
either.
There were some things that were scary, like things that had to do with heights and things that had to do with bugs and things, things that actual fear, snakes, what have you. But it turned into a show that should have been called Gross Factor.
Yeah.
Because all they did was make them do smoothies of bile and Rocky Mountain oysters and what have you.
What's the nastiest thing you've eaten? I think we've talked about this on the podcast before. The nastiest thing that you've eaten. And you look back on it and you're like, oh.
I've probably blocked it out. I've eaten some nasty things.
I'm trying to think. I know that, and I believe I mentioned this before. Two things I remember. I did eat brains once, calf brains.
Yeah, we have talked about this.
But also I remember my dad. My dad grew up eating chitlins when he was up in the hills. And decided he wanted to make them for himself. So he went out and bought the ingredients and deep fried them. And I remember two things. Number one, the entire house smelled like a public restroom.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Chitlins are just intestines.
It's disgusting.
I don't think he knew how to make them, and I'm not sure he cleaned them out really well, which is terrible because I think you could get E. coli that way.
Yes, you can.
But it's disgusting. So the house smelled.
It permeates.
Yeah. And the second thing is the taste of the chitlins tasted like that.
Wait, you ate them?
Yeah, but when I was a kid, I didn't know. And then I was like, I don't think I want to eat chitlins anymore.
Yeah, no.
Either that or lick the floor of the public restroom, one of the two.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
It was the same thing.
So things like menudo that has tripe in it.
Menudo?
Yeah, it's a soup.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the group with Ricky Martin.
Well, they had tripe in them too. But yeah, things like that, I won't touch it. I won't. I can't.
Why would you need to?
I wouldn't want to.
We live in a society where you can get any food in the world and someone's going, I want the part that shit comes out of.
Yep.
I'll take that part.
I'll take that part. And
you got a little thing. Where do you have the thing he pees on? I'll take that too.
Yep. If you've got that extra.
Those are my two favorites.
Does that cost more? So yeah. So what? Okay. I understand that I'm all for using all of the animal if you kill an animal. I get it. But there was a time and a place in our society, in some societies, where you had to use the offcuts or the what's called offal, and it is pretty awful, actually. Things that you wouldn't eat today, you would throw out today, and that's where that comes from. That's history, and then people got a liking for it.
Well, I mean, you have to a lot of Southern food, what soul food or whatever, but it isn't always soul. But a lot of that kind of food was because either the slaves in the South or just the poor Southern people could not afford anything other than that. So they didn't get top cuts of meat. They got the pieces of meat no one wanted. They got the poop shoots.
The poop shoots. That's lovely. Thank you for bringing that in.
But I mean, if you look, like my dad ate pig's feet and
yeah,
all of the parts that no one else wanted.
And head cheese.
Yeah.
Which is,
well, head cheese is a delicacy in some places.
In some places, it is a delicacy.
Yeah.
I'm sure Toffee would eat just about anything.
So, yeah, probably would.
But she's a dog.
Speaking of dogs, I have a question for you. This is a question I've been wondering for a while. And on the way over here, I saw this happen.
What happened?
I wanted to know what you think of it.
Okay.
Is it animal cruelty?
Oh, God, don't make it bad.
To force your dog to run with you or jog with you. Would you consider that animal cruelty? Because I see people a lot of times like, like the example on the way here, dude was jogging with a dog. The dog was in front of the dude on a leash, and the leash was tied to the dude's belt.
Yeah, they do that a lot around
Dude
here.
was jogging, and dog was jogging. Dog was leading the way, but was still jogging because dude was jogging.
Sure.
Is that cruelty? I see women jogging with their dogs a lot, I guess for protection. Maybe.
Or just because they are dog lovers and their dog needs exercise. I do not think jogging with an animal is animal abuse.
You don't?
I do not.
Why? The dog, what if the dog doesn't want to jog?
Well, okay, if the dog doesn't want to jog, if you're a responsible pet owner, you can read your dog. If your dog is in pain or if your dog is not feeling well, they will tell you.
My dog would jog with me even if she was in pain and not feeling well because she's a pleaser. She wants to please me.
And you know that about her.
Yeah, but
so
how do I know?
would you take her out jogging?
I wouldn't take any dog out jogging. I think it's like I would walk with a dog, and if the dog started running, I would run behind the dog until they decided to quit or until I got tired, which is about 5 or 6 steps. Because that's happened to me. I'm like, slow down.
That's enough.
Grandpa can't go any farther. But I don't know that I've actually seen people on a bicycle with their dog jogging next to the bike. And this is like, that's not fair. But I mean, I know some dogs have more energy, but I still just, I think.
You have to.
I don't know that I would say it's animal cruelty, but I don't think it's a good idea.
That's a pretty bold statement.
I know. What? That it's not animal cruelty?
That it's not a good idea.
I don't think it's a great idea.
I mean, for you, maybe it's not.
Would you jog with your goldfish? No. Why their dog then?
Goldfish don't have feet.
Dragging your goldfish down the
That's not funny. Don't talk about that.
I don't think he wants to go.
On my way home tonight, I saw a dude on a bicycle with 2 dogs on leashes, and they were just running along, having a good old time.
What if it was a car tied to the bumper of a car?
That's not.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Because you can't go fast enough on. Okay, listen. If
It's
you're
wrong.
dragging your dog.
It's wrong.
If you're dragging your dog along the road in any way, shape, or form, that is animal cruelty.
I think
if you are running with an animal, that is not animal cruelty.
No, I think if you're running, it's potentially not because a dog can outrun you. But if you're on a bike, then I have a problem. You're having fun. You're sitting down. The dog doesn't get to sit down.
You know how fast your dog can
Put the dog in the sidecar and go that way.
The dog needs exercise or else the person is going to be at home doing what I'm doing right now, which is trying to control my damn dog.
You need a bike so that you can drag your dog.
I won't drag her.
It's basically the same thing. I feel like I don't think it's a good idea. Jogging with your dog, maybe. I just feel like dogs don't have a chance to say no. And because they do want to please, they'll just do it. Even if they don't want to do it, they're going to do it.
So when you bring the leash out.
This is why I turned my phone off.
This is why you turned your phone off. Mm-hmm. If we bring the leash out and the dog hides from you, that's probably a signal they don't want to go.
My dog does that when I take her to daycare. Do I not take her? Is it abuse to take her to daycare after that?
Yes.
She does that every time.
And what does she do at daycare?
Sits around.
She just sits there.
No, they pull her on a bicycle.
They pull her on a bike? Yeah, maybe that's it.
I want to get a red wagon so we have an old dog, and he's getting to the point where he likes to go out, but he doesn't really want to walk. So I want to get like those red, what do they call them, wagons?
The radio flyers?
Yeah, I want to get a radio flyer. I will put padding in it, a lot of pillows, and put him in there and just pull him on the greenway.
And he would love it so much.
You know, I wanted to do that with Kiefer when he was like my dog, my Aussie, when he couldn't even hardly walk.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to kind of pull him. He just shuffled.
Yeah.
He wanted to go out, but he was just, he couldn't move. And I wanted to do a wagon like that.
They make strollers for animals, you know.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I used to want to get a stroller to put my cats in and take them for walks because they wouldn't do a harness.
I like the sidecar idea, but still, I just feel like you shouldn't do it. You really shouldn't. If you got a puppy, if you got a dog, I don't know. Don't force them to jog.
I would like to force Toffee to jog right now.
You need to hire somebody to jog with her.
I can't jog, but she could use some help. Yeah. So, okay, were we speaking of?
What
no, we weren't. But let's. So you were talking about the chitlins. Chitlins, which is what I like to call people's children.
I wonder if that's where that came from. Chitlins. I wonder if that's where it came from.
No.
How do you know?
Chitlins probably came from children because they all stink.
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be offensive.
They should have called them buttlins.
What? No.
Ass nuggets.
Ass nuggets. That's it right there. We've come across a winner.
All right. Everybody, y'all want some more ass nuggets?
Wow. Did you hear that in your household?
Yeah, my family, they say that all the time.
They talked about ass nuggets?
How about some ass nuggets?
That's disgusting.
Yeah. You hear that in the South.
So... Did you know?
Did I know what?
That people who have a few drinks and get the opportunity to ask doctors anything they want to ask some silly questions.
Oh, really?
Yes. One of those questions from this book that I'm reading which I think is funny, is why can you ignite a fart?
Oh, weird.
Like, why can you?
I don't
Most
know.
people know.
Yes.
Like,
it's not a good idea. You can actually do damage to yourself.
you can do serious damage to yourself.
You can scorch your rectum.
Which
is in my other band name.
Scorch your rectum.
Scorched rectum.
You know, they were
Playing
saying
at the Coliseum.
Yes,
with
actually,
ass nuggets.
God. This has gone downhill.
I know.
Anyways, what I'm getting at is I have some facts regarding farts.
Oh.
Because somebody did ask a doctor, why can you ignite a fart? And he decided to give some information regarding farts.
Let me just say something really quick about this. When I was in college, I had a roommate, Neil. If you're listening to the podcast, I know you're not. Actually, it's not like...
He might be.
No. Anyway. He would do that all the time. He would.
It's the stupidest thing.
He would at various intervals of the day. He'd be like, "Oh, here we go," and he would go sit down. He would put his legs over his head
and light a fart.
Light it, and it would. I mean, literally. I think isn't there a scene in Dumb and Dumber where they do that? It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I a couple times they actually caught his pants on fire.
My gosh.
Now, when you're in college, it's funny.
It's funny as hell.
It's one of the funniest things you've ever seen.
But it's stupid.
But yeah, it's dumb.
The whole thing was stupid.
He never,
and it's
as far as
mostly
I
a
know,
boy thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
my date did that once when we were at a restaurant, but still. Yeah, it was the one date we had.
Oh my God. Okay. Story for another time. So just so you know, the reason that you can ignite a fart.
It's methane, right?
It's methane and what's the other flammable one? It is sulfur.
Oh God.
Sulfur
is
that's
flammable?
what makes things stink.
I know it smells like egg, but is it flammable? I didn't know. I guess it is.
Oh wait, no, it's not the sulfur. Anyways, okay, so you're right. Methane is the biggie.
Methane.
Anyhow, moving on. The average temperature of a fart.
It's your body temperature, right?
Duh.
98.6.
Like, how is that not common
until you
knowledge?
light it, and then it's
That's also the average temperature of your urine, which is
Yeah.
why when somebody's really cold, you pee on them.
Oh no. You like their farts. You have to put them out with your pee. This has gone too far.
This has gone way too far. Do you know how fast farts go?
Who's clocking a fart?
Doctors.
Do you get pulled over for that?
Farts have been clocked at a speed of 10 feet per second.
Excuse me, you were going 10 feet per second in a 5 feet per second zone. You farted 10 foot per second, and I clocked you.
Way too fast. Way too fast.
Oh, my goodness.
Also, a person produces about half a liter of farts per day.
Half a liter?
Yes.
Is that how you measure a fart? A liter?
Yeah, that's how you measure gas.
Oh, God.
Yes. So half a liter.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, farts are created by, the things that the bacteria in your gut, clearly. Because the bacteria in your gut is breaking down the food, which causes gas, which then has to come out. Having said that,
yeah,
it makes sense that women fart just as much as men.
Well, they're human beings.
They're human beings. Gender has nothing to do with how much a person farts. What it does have to do with is what you eat. So the gas that makes you fart and makes your farts stink, that's the hydrogen sulfide gas. The gas contains sulfur, which is smelly. The more sulfur-rich your diet, the more your farts will stink. Avoid sulfur if you don't want to offend people.
And avoid this podcast at all costs. Oh, my God.
Beans, cabbage, cheese, eggs,
beer.
Also soda.
Anything that has gassy bubbles in it already, like beer, and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Any fibrous thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Champagne gives me gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm not happy about it. Most people pass gas about 14 times a day. 14. I mean, and then there's you.
I pass lots of gas
lots
all
and
day.
Lots and lots of gas. But the
Exxon,
answer,
76, BP, all day long. Conoco. every day past a lot of gas on the way to work. Yeah,
way too far for that.
I'm just saying.
Way too far.
The gas that I pass.
So I thought you'd be interested in having some facts about farts.
I will say they're much better in pool or bathtub
because they make bubbles.
Yeah, they are.
Are we talking about farts?
We're talking about farts. Yeah, they're not as.
We do that on this podcast.
They're not
sometimes.
as fun. They're always fun, but they're not as fun anymore. I find as the older you get, it just becomes a thing. It's like, oh, whatever. Yeah. But they're not as fun. But I guess unless someone else does it in a place they're not supposed to be doing.
I like to see people be embarrassed about farting.
Really?
It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Because people get embarrassed about farting in a public place, clearly by accident. They didn't just go out and do it and let it rip. They, oops, sorry, excuse me, kind of thing. But they don't say that when they sneeze.
No, they say bless you. They should say bless you when you fart.
They should.
Or curse you. Yeah, that would be fun.
I mean, it's the same thing.
Curse you.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I remember, and I don't know why, when I was in school, if I accidentally farted, and you would hear, then I would go, all of a sudden just start going, because I thought people would think that I did all of it with my mouth. They would be like, I thought the first one was a fart, but now I see
that was your defense.
You're doing
mechanism.
them all by your mouth. So
my defense mechanism is that I've suddenly lost my mind, and I'm just going to go.
Yeah, it's just like I was sitting there going. Yeah.
Like, no,
like,
nobody bought that.
No, because they're like, boy, your breath really stinks. That's the worst.
Please stop doing that with your mouth.
You're doing the sounds, but you're also doing the smell too. No.
Talent,
but you don't think that when you're a kid. It's just, oh my God, it's embarrassing. You're in school, it happens, and then
things are so embarrassing when you're young.
There's always those guys that just they don't care.
Right.
Like there was always one or two guys. We would be taking a test, and they would just go, and laugh about it, and then everybody would laugh. And I always thought it would be hard being a teacher during that.
So okay, where I currently work.
Talking about farts. Oh, God.
When the air comes on in the morning, like the AC comes on, it doesn't come on first thing because it's not cold or it's not hot enough to come on. But after a while, you've got, 3 monitors per desk, and we've got 25 people in the room. It's going to get hot in there. So the air kicks on. For the first hour of my day, the air would not kick on. And we had a gentleman working there, and I won't say his name, who
Troy.
It wasn't Troy, who would just let one rip. No, at about the same time every single day.
Wow.
And it was before the air kicked on.
Okay.
So it gets really quiet in there when the air is off. And never once did anybody say, excuse me. Never once did anybody call him out on it. Never once. It was just like people just ignore it. Yeah. Like it didn't happen. And it makes me wonder, did he think that it was silent? I mean, he had to hear it, right?
Yeah.
You have to claim that.
Yeah.
That's yours to claim.
Yeah.
At least, but then again, here I am defending people who, you don't say excuse me when you sneeze, but so I don't know. It's a society thing, I guess. It's rude to come out the back end, apparently not rude to come out the front end.
I always like, and this happened recently when I was in a group of people, and somebody sits in their chair, and their chair farts, and the chair goes,
oh, yeah, it makes a little sound.
And there's a certain time when you're younger where you're just like, no, that was the chair.
It was the chair. It was totally the chair. Yeah.
And you get older and you're like, I don't care. I don't care what they think.
I don't care at all.
And you stand up and do it again. I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So,
fart. All right, let's go from farting to dating. I have a question for you.
Have you ever farted on a date? On a first date?
Probably. I don't remember.
And do you think that led to not having a second date?
I don't know. But here's my question.
Okay.
About dates. We can debate farts as well with this if we want. All right. If you are, and we are, but if someone is an adult let's say over the age of 35. We could say
really
30.
low?
We could say 30.
Okay.
Let's say over the age of 30, 35, somewhere around there, an adult. And you're having a date. You're on a date. Maybe you could have been divorced. You may not be divorced anymore.
Sure.
You could be you've never been married.
Sure.
Do you think most people automatically assume they're going to have sex on a first date? If you're over the age of 35.
Most people?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak to what most people think.
No, you can't speak factually, but you can have an opinion what you might think. Do you think most people over the age of 35, when they go on a first date, are kind of anticipating that there will be sex?
You know, pardon me. Probably. Because maybe not 30 years ago, but maybe more so now.
I don't know.
Because, well, okay, so let's go back to the 60s. Let's go back even farther. Back in the 60s, you're going to go hang out. It's not even called a date. You're damn right you're fucking. Okay, it's happening.
60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Then AIDS
happened. And now there have to be discussions before things happen. And then...
The 2000s, everybody's like, screw it, I don't care.
Exactly. Cut to the 2000s.
I think they have some medication to do it. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll take a chance.
Yeah. And these days, sex seems so, it's like kissing.
Yeah.
Or any, I mean, some people consider, oh my God. Some people consider sex as casual as shaking somebody's hand.
Well, I know, but see, that was the atmosphere in the 70s.
Right.
I mean, I talked to this one guy, and I was born in the 70s. I was too young to have sex. I almost did a really bad joke, but I didn't. But I was talking to this guy who was, I don't know, he's 10, 15 years older than me. And he was talking about in the 70s when he was in a rock band. And he said, in the 70s, he said you would go over to your friend's house and have dinner. Mm-hmm. And then everybody would just go, oh, let's go have sex. And everybody would have sex together.
Right. It's called an orgy.
Yeah. Well, or change partners or whatever.
Or swapping And
you would just meet someone and just go do it. And then you never see them again. And I mean, I know that goes on now. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying it was so much more freer then. No one really thought a whole lot about diseases and things like that.
It's like the worst thing they thought about was pregnancy.
Yeah, but okay, so my question is, I guess what I'm getting at is when you're a grown-up, when you're like, I know people in their 20s do it and all that stuff, but I'm just saying a lot of times when you're that young, there's a lot more thinking involved. It's just like, oh, is it going to happen?
And you don't want to make the first move. And is he or she going to make the first move?
But do you think when as the older you get, like I'm in my 50s and let's say I go out on a date, which I'm not going to because I'm married. But if I was single or even 40s and I meet someone online or online dating at a bar or whatever, and I'm going out on the first date, do you think that most people during that time start thinking, we're going to have some sex? Tonight's going to happen.
I think they probably do. I am not one of those people.
But you would, though, if it was made available to you.
Okay, so if I was on a first date with someone, whether I knew them, okay, it would matter if I knew them previously or not. Now you're talking like first date, like first time you've ever like hung out with this person.
Right.
Absolutely not. No way. It just wouldn't happen. There's too much conversation that has to happen prior, in my opinion. There's too much, we got to have a little Q&A.
Right.
There's this kind of thing has to happen before that happens. Now, I'm not saying I won't make out with somebody.
Right.
But I will not let it go that far on a first date. Period.
Okay.
Now, have I? Yes, I have.
Was alcohol or drugs involved?
Yes.
It almost always is. Well, I just feel like that. So when you get to a certain age, it's like, I'm an adult. It's like, let's do adult things. I just feel like it becomes a thing that adults do. It's like, no, I'm not 17 anymore. I don't want to go roller skating and go
exactly,
home.
Exactly.
It's like we do adult things, so let's go do adult things. And I just wonder if it's just a part of it. And ultimately, I feel like maybe if both people say, okay, then it's going to happen. That's basically all it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess that makes sense. I mean,
it does.
If both people want to do it, it's going to get
people done. Are, like you said, adults. They're consenting adults. They have every right to do so if they want to. If they're both on board, get on board. whatever board you want to be on. But I just wonder
how many people in the back of their mind are thinking, I think this is going to happen tonight. Or it's like, even if it doesn't, if they have a certain amount of expectation that it's going to be going on.
I would not want to date somebody who had the expectation that the first time we ever sat down to a meal or a drink that they were going to have sex with me. I would not want to date that
I didn't really
person.
want to do that. When I was dating, I didn't really, like the last time I was dating 6 years ago.
Yeah.
To me, that was like the biggest distraction. I was just like, so I think, isn't there like a Woody Allen movie or something, like he's on his first date and he's just like, look, let's just say right now we're not going to have sex. So that way we don't have to worry about that. And we can just talk.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's like one of the best things. Just get that out of the way.
Opening line.
Don't worry about this. We're not going to do this. And then we can focus on that. And I don't know. To me, I preferred that. But there was always that thing. It's just like, was there going to be this uncomfortable moment where, even if it's just like you expect a kiss, sometimes it's automatic. I mean, there's no question. But other times it's just like, what if I had a good time and she didn't, and I want to just kind of kiss her on the cheek or just a small kiss, and she doesn't want to? Then it's embarrassing. That's the last thing we see.
I've had that rejection. I've been out with a guy before, and in a kind of a group setting, just a few people, maybe 4 or 5 people. And we were getting along really, really well, and everything was going great. And we were having wonderful conversation. And now, mind you, I was in my 20s. I leaned in to kiss him, and he literally, my lips on his lips, and he said,
Get away.
No, he said,
Yeah.
And I was of course, in my 20s, it was crushing.
Yeah.
Like crushing, soul crushing, because I really liked this guy. But nowadays, I mean, I think I'd be a little less aggressive about it and perhaps a little more obvious about what was about to happen. And if he said no, I'd be like, okay, I'm going home. I
got other people to kiss, not just you.
No.
I don't know.
It's just I've dealt with so much rejection in my life that while some of it still stings pretty bad, it's not the end of the world. The world is not going to stop turning. The sun isn't going to burn out. It's fine.
Well, getting in sync is like the worst thing. It's the thing I hated the most about dating.
Yeah.
Because I never was good at it. I mean, I've told you stories where I just read somebody wrong.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out what does this person think is the worst thing, and I'm horrible at it.
Ask them.
That's just so awkward and weird.
It's not. We're adults.
It's like,
we
do you want me to put my pants back on? What's happening? I can't tell.
Here's the thing, though. Sitting there wondering, oh, my God, does he like me? Oh, my God, does she like me? I wonder, maybe if I just hint at this for, 5 months, maybe, or 5 years even in some cases, maybe eventually they'll like me. If you don't put your mind out there, if you don't put your feelings out there, you are doing a disservice not only to yourself, but to that person, because maybe they're oblivious. Maybe they like you too. How do you know if you don't ask?
But I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like, so my last relationship, which is the one with my wife, so like we were in sync almost all the way through. And so I remember the first time I met her, because we met online. And we talked for a long time online. We hit it off. Everything was great. And then we met in person. And the first thing she said to me, I got out of my car, and she's standing there, and we kind of do some quick little small chat. And she says, is this okay? And I was like, is what okay? And she just kind of pointed to her entire body, and she was like, this.
Like she gestures to all of me.
Are you okay with this? This person here, which I love, is one of my favorite memories. But yeah, I was very much okay with it. And
clearly, you married it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I still don't know if she likes me. I'm still trying to find out.
Asked her?
6 years later. No, I'm afraid of what she might say.
Oh, yeah, because you never know.
Well, I'm just terrible at reading people and reading things. And that when I was dating, that whole thing of like, are we supposed to have sex? It's like, even if I didn't want to, if the other person wanted to, then it was like, am I obligated? Should I do this?
do it anyways?
Yeah, it's like she really wants this.
But then what happens tomorrow?
Should I give it to her?
When you're like, I don't think I want to see you anymore. And she says something along the lines of, you asshole.
Yeah.
And then you feel like crap because you're like, yeah, but I didn't really want to in the first place.
Right.
And then you make it worse.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, this is starting to sound like a Sandra Bullock movie or something.
Dating sucks. All right. I don't know why I asked you this because I really, it's not something I need anymore, but maybe it's a service to some of our listeners. I don't know if listeners, do you date? Are you done dating? Do you still date? Do you have questions about dating? Because you know what? Cheri's an expert in relationships. And if you have relationship questions, all you have to do is ask her. Just send your question to thisepicdisaster@gmail.com, and she'll help you out with your relationships. She's kind of like a doctor. She's kind of like a therapist. She's not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor or a therapist.
But she does play one on TV. So all you have to do.
On a very, very, very low-rated show.
Yeah, even if you're married and you're having some marriage issues, she'll help you out there.
Oh, no.
Just send it to this epic disaster. Or if you have some comments, questions, ways we can improve the show, whatever, this epic disaster.
By not doing it anymore?
Sure.
Maybe.
We might consider it. Visit us on Facebook. We've got a Facebook page. We're also on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. We hang out there.
All those places.
Yeah.
So also, we'll send you stickers.
We'll send you stickers. Just send us your mailing address. We'll send you stickers. At least we'll tell you that we're going to send them. Sometimes
and then eventually we will.
We have people we owe gifts and things to.
For like a year now.
But yeah, we try.
You did choose to listen to a podcast called This Epic Disaster. Just keep that in mind.
And just if nothing else, just say hi to us. Give us a review. We do like the reviews. Wherever you download your podcasts, send us a little review. If it's Apple, if it's Google, whatever. That helps us out.
Okay.
All right, so before we say goodbye,
we have to rate this.
We're going to talk about this beer. What is the beer again?
The beer is called Superstitious Pigeons. It is a sour. Okay, really? My eye is so bad I can't see anything out of either of them right now. It's a sour that tastes like peanut butter and jelly. That's what it is.
Peanut butter jelly sour.
It says it's a sour ale brewed with peanut butter and raspberries. So, and I don't know why, because grape jelly, it was always my favorite on a peanut butter and jelly. Yep. Not raspberry, not strawberry.
Raspberry has the tart.
Not any of that shit.
I think it kind of goes.
Give me some grape jelly.
It kind of goes with the sour. So, you want to tell what you think of it?
Well, what's funny is that I've drank most of it, but I think that's just because I left my other drink in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm thirsty. First of all, I can't tell you the alcohol by volume. I'd have to look it up because look how tiny that writing is.
Oh, wow.
There's no way. I have my glasses on and I still can't see it.
I would have to put my glasses on and maybe use a microscope too.
And I'll tell you that it's probably somewhere around 4.5. Because I'm not really.
No, this has a government warning, brewed and packaged by District Brewing Company, and it's got an address. So I don't even know if it
I don't think it even says
5% alcohol by volume.
Oh, 5. Okay, thank you for that. And I was about right. I am surprisingly, I like the level of sour to it. I think it has a good level of sour. It's not overly in your face sour. But it's not claiming to be a sour when it's not. We've had a couple of those. I could do without the peanut butter and jelly.
I would lick dirty chitlins before I'd have this beer again. This is maybe the worst beer I've had on this podcast. Here's the thing. Let me clarify. When I say worst beer, we've had some shitty beers in that they're just not good beers.
We had Coors or Bud Light.
We haven't had Coors Light.
We've
had some weak beers. So this is a very flavorful, very strong beer. I don't know who thought this flavor tasted good. The first time I tasted it, it literally was the worst. I think the worst thing because here's the thing.
You made quite the face.
It was horrible. As a sour, it's yummy. It's great sour.
Yeah.
And I've decided I really like sours. But that peanut butter and jelly does not go with that sour.
No, it does not.
And they should not put them together.
No, they should not.
It is, of all the peanut butter and jelly beers we've had on this show, it might be the strongest. It tastes the most like peanut butter and jelly, but it doesn't match up with the sour. And the whole time, I feel like I'm drinking something I'm not supposed to.
One of my favorite beers is by Three Taverns, and it is a raspberry sour.
Okay.
So this is made with raspberries.
Yep.
It's got a good sour flavor. It's basically that, but they threw some peanut butter up in there.
Yeah.
And it's not a good thing.
All right, so let me just say some positive things about it. If you like unique flavors, you'll like this beer. It's strong flavors, nothing hidden in here. If it is a very unique taste, people like unique taste, they may love this beer. It's not a shy beer. It's got nice, strong flavors. They tell you exactly what you're going to be drinking, and you drink it.
And you chose to buy it.
If you like those flavors, then this might be the beer for you. It is definitely peanut, and it smells just like it tastes. Strong peanut butter and jelly, and you can taste the or smell the kind of sour in there. Mm-hmm. I have drank, I don't know, I've had about half of mine, mostly because I'm thirsty. Uh-huh. I will say the longer I drank it, the more tolerable it was.
Yeah, because you can get used to anything.
But it never tasted great.
Okay.
And it's it's weird. It's a weird beer.
It is a weird beer, and that's what people are doing these days, are weird beers. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a rating of, just because the sour level is perfect, I'm going to give it a 2.
I'm giving it a 1.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to do that, but because they got the sour level perfect, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 2.
And I'm giving it that not because it's a bad beer in like I said, a week or whatever. It's just I can't handle that taste. That's the strangest tasting beer I've ever had in my life. So if you like strange taste beer, go get this. Try it out.
Or if you're just interested and want to know what the hell we're talking about, go find it.
I have 2 more at home. I'll send to you.
I will mail them to you.
I'm going to try to get my wife to drink one.
Oh, that's not nice. That's
this is yummy. Give it a taste.
Don't lie to your wife.
No, she won't like it, but I feel like she needs to taste it. You know that commercial with the raccoons are like, oh, this is awful. Taste this.
Yes.
You know, the Geico commercial? That's what it's like. It's just like, oh, it's so bad you need other people to taste it.
People do that all the time. It's like, oh, this smells bad. Smell it.
I know.
You know, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
All right, people, thank you for joining us. We are doing all kinds of different things in different locations. And we were going to do a couple of our new features today, but because we're in different locations and we're battling puppies, wild puppies, and yes, I'm talking to you, and other things, we kind of held off. But I think next week we'll be back with that stuff.
But don't forget our phrase.
We're not going to tell you what it is. If you heard it from the first,
then you
just go ahead and put it on there, and we'll come up with we'll tell you what we'll do. We'll come up with a prize for you.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. Are we done? Are we finished?
Done. Can we go?
Can I pour this beer out?
Yes, you can.
Do you want to go to the bathroom and drop one?
Oh.
What? I'm just asking you.
So earlier, real quick, guys. Earlier, I went towards my bathroom and I said I have to go do a drop. And Rick had zero idea what I was talking about. He thought I was like being very crude and meaning that I had to use the restroom.
Well, sometimes you surprise me. I just kind of thought,
you've
never talked like that to me before.
Like that to him before.
I don't know why you're doing a drop in the bathroom.
And I just said I have to go do a drop, but I'm listening because he was talking.
It was eye drops.
It was eye drops.
All right.
It was eye drops.
You can go do a drop. I'm getting ready to go.
All right, I'm going to
go home and do a drop. All right, I'll see you guys later. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.